Ever find yourself filling up at like 2 in the morning and wonder who's actually in charge of this place?
Uh-huh, yeah.
It's like, fuel station manager, what even is that, right?
Right.
Well, it turns out it's way more interesting than just, keeping the lights on.
Yeah, definitely more than snacks and gas.
We're going deep on this one. We found this career guide, RoleCatcher. It breaks down what fuel station management is really all about.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was kind of blown away by all the stuff they actually do.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a total juggling act when you think about it. You've got staff ordering, like the fuel itself, obviously, got to make sure the place doesn't fall apart,
Yeah, maintenance.
the budget, and of course, keeping everyone safe, which is
Huge. We're talking flammable liquids here, not exactly risk-free.
no kidding. A good manager, they're all over that safety stuff, proactive,
Yeah.
regular checks, team knows the procedures inside and out. The whole place has that safety first vibe.
Makes sense, especially with something as, well, potentially dangerous as fuel. But here's where it gets really interesting to me, at least. The guy talks about customer service, and let's be real, we've all seen those drivers at the pump who are ready to blow a gasket.
Oh, tell me about it. 3 a.m., someone's tired, hungry, their card gets declined. You need some serious skills to handle that.
It's like more than just calming them down, right? The guide made it sound like you got to get creative to actually solve whatever's going on.
For sure. Imagine, like you said, cards declined, they're stranded. A good manager might figure out how to help them, maybe even go that extra mile to get them back on the road.
Wow, that's next level. I didn't think about it being that intense. Speaking of next level, the tech stuff blew my mind. Like, yeah, gas stations are getting all high tech, but I had no clue it was this much.
Right. It's way past just fancy pumps and card readers. We're talking straight up artificial intelligence now.
No way. AI for gas.
Yeah, to optimize the fuel inventory. Imagine using AI to, say, predict how much gas people will need based on the weather or local events.
That's wild. Okay, so you need to be super adaptable to keep up with all that new tech, clearly.
Absolutely. Point of sale systems, AI-powered inventory, the whole 9 yards. If you don't keep learning, you're going to get left behind.
So we've got leadership, customer service, safety knowledge, and being a tech whiz. This is a demanding job. What about actually moving up, though? Is this a dead end, or can you build a career from this?
Oh, that's the best part. This guide actually lays out some pretty exciting paths you can take. You could climb the ladder within a company, go from one station to being a regional manager, even national. Yeah.
So, like, instead of one gas station, you're overseeing dozens of them.
Exactly. Or, if you're feeling really ambitious, think about the skills you're learning. Leadership, problem solving, managing money, those are like superpowers you can take anywhere.
Now, that's what I'm talking about. This isn't just some gas station gig. It's building a serious skill set.
Totally. But, like anything, there's two sides to every coin, right? And the guide gets real about that too.
Okay, so let's talk about the downsides. What are some of the challenges of being a fuel station manager?
Well, first off, long hours. Fuel stations, they don't exactly close up shop at 5 o'clock.
Right, 24/7. Got to keep the pumps running.
Exactly. So be ready for some late nights, some weekend shifts, you know how it is. Plus, anytime you're dealing with the public, there's bound to be some stress.
Oh, I can only imagine. Like, what happens when the coffee machine breaks down during rush hour? Or worse, a fuel spill.
You got it. You need the patience of a saint and the ability to think on your feet. And then there's the physical side of things. You're not exactly sitting at a desk all day.
True. You're on your feet, moving around, dealing with deliveries. It's a physically demanding job.
Exactly. But hey, on the plus side, you're not stuck behind a desk all day, right?
Yeah.
There's a certain freedom in that.
That's a good point. And there's got to be something satisfying about making sure such a vital service keeps running.
Absolutely. Fuel stations, they keep the world moving, literally.
Okay, so for anyone out there who's thinking, hey, maybe fuel station manager is the career for me, what's the most important thing to take away from all of this?
I'd say be prepared for a wild ride. It's challenging, no doubt, but it can be incredibly rewarding. You need to be a strong leader, stay cool under pressure, and basically become a master of all trades. But you get variety. You get to be your own boss to a certain extent, and you make a real difference every single day.
Love it. It's not just a job, it's a chance to step up and really own it. But what about the money? I'm sure people are wondering, what does a fuel station manager actually make?
Ah, the million-dollar question.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guide actually has some answers for us. And that, my friend, is a story for part 2 of our deep dive.
All right, so back to the big question. Everyone wants to know, does this job pay the bills? What the guides say about the whole salary thing for fuel station managers.
Yeah, got to see if those late nights and dealing with interesting customer stays off, right?
Exactly. So give it to me straight. What are we talking here?
Well, like most jobs, depends. Experience, where you are in the world, the company itself, all that factors in. But the guide gave like a good average range.
Mm,
Looks like a fuel station manager, they're probably making something between $40,000 to $60,000 a year.
not bad. Not bad at all. Especially with those chances to move up we talked about.
Yeah.
Imagine working your way up, becoming a regional manager. I bet the salary there is even better.
Oh, for sure. And don't forget about benefits on top of that. A lot of these companies, they offer health insurance, paid time off. Some even have retirement plans, the whole shebang.
That's huge. Really makes a difference in the long run. But okay, besides the money, what about like the other good stuff? What makes people actually like this job, beyond the paycheck?
Good point. It's not all about the Benjamins. The guide actually touched on this, talked about the feeling of like ownership a lot of fuel station managers have. They're running their own show in a way, making decisions that really matter for the station and the people who work there.
Makes sense. It's almost like being like a mini CEO or something, but instead of some tech startup, it's this vital service keeping everyone fueled up and on the move.
Exactly. And you can't forget the people.
Hmm.
Think about who you see every day at a fuel station. Truckers, families on road trips, your everyday folks. It's like a little slice of life.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. You're right, you're meeting people from all walks of life all the time. That's got to be pretty interesting, just seeing that human side of things.
Totally. And each one of those interactions, it's a chance to make someone's day a little better, a friendly face, helping them find what they need, or just listening if they need someone to talk to.
It's like this whole art to it, being a good fuel station manager, not just the technical side. It's
Yeah.
leadership, empathy, making it a good experience for the employees and the customers,
I
right?
got it. It's building that community feeling within the station, making a difference in those little moments.
Okay, so we've talked about the good stuff, but like any job, gotta be realistic, right?
Yeah.
What are some of those challenges someone should be ready for if they're thinking about this career path? Because it can't be all sunshine and rainbows.
You're telling me the guide was real about that? This job, it can be tough, physically and mentally, no doubt. You're always on the go, long hours, and then something unexpected happens, and you got to think fast.
I bet. Like the coffee machine breaks in the middle of the morning rush, or like you said before, dealing with a fuel spill, you need to be able to handle that kind of pressure.
You got to be adaptable, bounce back from anything, stay calm when everything's going wrong. You're the one holding it all together. And even beyond the day-to-day stuff, safety's always there in the back of your mind.
Yeah, it's one thing to know the rules, but you need to create that culture where everyone's taking it seriously. That's a whole other level.
Absolutely. Leading by example, making sure the training's up to date. Everyone knows those procedures are there for a reason.
So, long hours, stressful situations, huge responsibility for safety. This is a demanding job, no two ways about it. But there was something else in the guide that caught my eye, the idea that this isn't necessarily the final stop, you know? It could be a stepping stone to a whole other career.
Oh, definitely. And that's something we'll dive into right after this.
All right, so back again and ready to talk career ladder. So you're saying this isn't a dead end, that being a fuel station manager could actually lead to other things?
Oh, absolutely. It's like a launch pad. The guide was highlighting how the skills you learn, leadership, problem solving, handling money, those are valuable anywhere.
You mean like someone could take this experience and go into, I don't know, logistics, transportation, maybe even regular retail management?
Exactly. It's about seeing the bigger picture. Think about a manager who's using AI for inventory at their station, right?
Okay.
They're not just stocking shelves, they're thinking strategically, understanding how supply and demand works. That's valuable in a ton of industries.
Now you're talking. So they start at the gas station, but end up at some corporate office, optimizing supply chains for a whole region, maybe even the whole country.
Exactly. It all comes down to ambition, seeing those transferable skills you're building. This job, it can be a springboard, no doubt. But even for those who are like, I love running my station, this is me, there's always room to grow within a company too.
Right. We talked about those regional manager positions, even national ones. Imagine you're in charge of a whole network of fuel stations. That's a lot of responsibility.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You got to be able to lead, understand the whole operation, and of course be good with the finances. But those are things, as successful fuel station manager, they're already doing that every single day.
Okay, so we've covered that this job can actually take you places. That's awesome. But what about the kind of person who's drawn to this in the first place? Are there certain like personality types that do really well as fuel station managers?
Well, the guy doesn't have a personality quiz or anything. But it did talk about some qualities that are super important for this job. We've mentioned leadership, being able to handle problems, staying calm under pressure. But honestly, you got to really enjoy working with people. Customer service is huge in this role.
Yeah, makes sense. You're the face of the place, setting the tone for every customer who walks in.
Exactly. A friendly face, going the extra mile. Those small things can turn a bad experience into a good one. It's more than just ringing people up. It's about building those connections, being that positive moment in someone's day.
I like that. Like you're building a little community right there in the gas station. That takes a special kind of person, someone who's outgoing, who actually cares, who likes talking to people.
Totally. And you can't forget resilience because, let's face it, things go wrong and you got to roll with the punches.
Oh, I bet. Fuel delivery's late, a pump breaks down during rush hour. You got to think on your feet, right?
You said it. A good sense of humor helps too. Being able to laugh things off, even when things are crazy, it makes a difference.
Wow, this has been eye-opening. You don't always think about these everyday jobs like fuel station manager, but
Yeah.
they're important, you know? It's about more than just the gas. It's about providing a service, making it a good experience, keeping everything running behind the scenes.
Absolutely. This deep dive, it's given me a whole new appreciation for what they do, that's for sure.
Me too. And for everyone listening, remember, this is just scratching the surface. There's a ton more info out there, so if you're intrigued, go do your research. Who knows? Maybe fuel station manager is your next big career move.